The Word of God tells us in James 1:27, "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." The orphans of Haiti, living in the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, are in desperate need for adequate health care, immunizations, and education. As a result, they are at high risk for disease, malnutrition, and exploitation. In the midst of this seeming despair, there is amazing hope. Hope found in the wonderful and moving story of a loving couple called by God to simply make a difference. Please take that journey of hope with us as we share the beautiful story of Matt and Jessica Bush and 34 orphaned Haitian children they call their own.
I'm Jessica Bush, and I'm a teacher. I taught kindergarten for the last 8 years.
And my name is Matt Bush. I've been in ministry for about the last 15 years, mostly in youth ministry, working with youth and working with children. Well, we started after 2002 when we went to Haiti for the first time. It wasn't until 2011, December 2011, that we went back to Haiti for the second time. And we met the kids at the orphanage for the first time then, pretty much immediately fell in love with them.
Right now, the orphanage is not a legitimate orphanage. It is a place where a man, after the earthquake, began to take children in out of the goodness of his heart. So basically at that point, the kids at that orphanage, we were told were eating about 5 meals a week. And so one of the first things we did was start a sponsorship program for them. In the meantime, we were taking trips every couple months down there because we were feeling the need to check up on the kids and see if they're okay. So finally, in August of 2012, I said to Matt, this is where we're supposed to be. We need to be down here. And I said, just promise me you'll pray about this. And he did for the next couple months, and a couple months later, basically came to me and said, "You're right."
And it seemed like as much as the kids had changed from the first time we met them, once we started the sponsorship program and they were getting fed. And there was a big change, but we also knew that they needed a lot more. There was 2 adults there, and there was 30-something kids at the time, and it's just not a very good ratio. So we knew that there was a lot more that we needed to do. Right now, there's about 19 boys in a 300 or 400 square foot dorm that has 16 beds in it. And there's about 15 girls in the same size as the 16 beds in it. So our vision for the ministry for All Things New, obviously we want to improve the children's living conditions. We want to build an orphanage, and we're looking at maybe a 7,000 or 8,000 square foot building for the kids to live in. And that's our immediate vision, is that we want to take care of the kids. We want to be there for them. We want to get to the point where we can move down, hire additional caregivers, so it's not just even 4 of us to 34 of them. So our initial vision is to do whatever we can to make the living conditions of the children what they need to be. We also have a long-term vision where after that we'd like to do some things like starting a feeding program in the community. I'd like to use my seminary degree to train other pastors and other ministers in the area. Jessica would like to teach. She's a great teacher and would like to put that skill to use. And so we expect this ministry to expand past an orphanage.
They also don't have electricity or running water right now. They have a well they get their water from. And so those are things we'd like to add as well. Our vision is to get them in school and get them educated, get them in a position where they have some choices. Our vision is also to teach them how to be godly men and women. We
feel like right now their physical needs are being met, but we'd like to take care of a lot more than that. If you have children, you understand that it's a lot more than physical needs that a child has, and we want to be there for all of them. We will need capital funding. We'll need capital costs up front. That will include purchasing or building an orphanage that will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000 to $250,000. We'll need to purchase vehicles, at least 2 trucks that can transport our children both to and from school and to and from doctor's offices, wherever we need to take them. We'll also need to purchase land, which will be about $100,000. And so that's a lot of our big capital costs. We also need money for monthly expenses. And what that includes is salaries for caregivers, for cooks, for security guards. And we're anticipating monthly expenses to be between $12,000 and $15,000.
Thank you so much for allowing us to share our hearts and the story of our children.
We believe and understand that it's only with your prayers and through your support that we can make this happen. And we just thank you so much for listening and for wanting to be a part of this.
I love you, Matt and Jesse.
Share their story of love, opportunity, and yes, hope to these God's children. The beauty and hope in all this is that each of us can make a difference in some way in the lives of these children by supporting Matt, Jessica, and All Things New Orphanage. And there is immense hope in trusting that God has a plan for these His children. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 states, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." There's no better time than the present to make a commitment to God's children.